Welcome back everyone to another HeroRR video, and today I will be reviewing the Magicycle Deer SUV e-bike. It took me around 2 hours to assemble the e-bike, but that's me taking my time and filming. Overall, the install was very straightforward, which is a good thing because the directions were not very helpful. Luckily, it's very easy to assemble, and there are even instruction videos online that make it even easier. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that little cinematic and assembly video. This is the Magicycle Deer SUV e-bike. Magicycle sent me this out to review, and that's what I'm doing. This bike, what's different from this compared to my old e-bike is that this one actually has a full dedicated rear shock right back there. It also has front suspension up here. You got some adjustments just like the other one. We even have a headlight built in, and of course, we have this huge luggage rack. This is rated for 25 kilograms, which is, I'll put the pounds right up there. It's a lot of weight. The grips are this nice soft leather, very high quality feel with the stitching right there. The grips feel really nice. And of course, the biggest thing about this bike so far is the screen. This screen can be actuated by just pressing this button back here, hold that for a few seconds, and it will turn on. You have yourself a little digital speedometer, and you even have that is your wattage. Here's your battery life. There's the clock. Here's the setting you have. You can adjust that by pressing the plus. Now go up. There's so much customizable stuff. There's a whole videos online you can look up for it, but if you press both of these at the same time, you go into a hidden menu, and using these buttons you can actually go through and you can adjust the speed limit, you can adjust the voltage, advanced settings. And the cool thing about the advanced settings is you can really dial this bike in and set different power limits, power modes, all types of different things. You can change the wheel size, set the clock. There's so much you can do with this bike, and I'm not going to really be able to get into this video, but it's pretty insane, all the different customization you can do with this bike. You can literally make it so that there's 3 power modes, one with 10% power, one with 50% power, one with 100% power, and you can cycle through those modes. By default, you do have 7, which is kind of a lot. I might actually end up customizing that myself to make it less. But that is pretty cool. That's something you usually do not get with some of these bikes. The cool thing about this bike here too is we have a dedicated tail light, and it's also a brake light as well, which will be actuated from either brake, the front or the rear brake. You can also change your gear right here, the 7-speed. It's pretty easy to do. You just push this up like that, and when you want to go up, you can just press that like there. Pretty easy. Charging it's very easy as well. You just access it right through here. If you guys noticed in the cinematics, I actually had the handlebars mounted backwards, which I rode the bike fine like that for a few hours and didn't have any issues, but then I noticed it just looked weird, so I ended up flipping it back. So you're going to see some shots of the bike with the bars in and out. When they sent me the bike, this perch was facing in. I think they did that for shipping. I didn't know, but the directions weren't the greatest, so I kind of had to improvise. But anyway, now that I fixed that, it definitely looks a lot nicer. Of course, we do have disc brakes in the front and disc brakes in the back. Most e-bikes actually have a thumb throttle, which you press with your thumb. This bike has a twist throttle, kind of like a motorcycle. And you can see that which is really nice because that's what I'm used to, and that is a lot more comfortable. One cool thing about this screen is you can actually access a USB port right down in there, and you can use that to charge your cell phone, which is awesome, or maybe even a GoPro, and you can have a little GoPro mount and you can record your stuff and charge it right from your e-bike. I found the power was very good on this bike, tons of power, but one thing that really impressed me with this bike was actually not the power as much as the brakes. I find the brakes on this bike will stop exceptionally well. Also, I just want to talk about the build quality of this bike. I like how the wires all come together. They're all nice and neat, tucked in. It's just very sleek looking, having them all zip tied together, bundled up, and it goes right through the frame. And you will see the wiring is tucked in very well. In fact, it's almost impossible to see where it goes to this taillight. The seat is adjustable. I find that this bike is actually, even though it is a very heavy bike, this bike weighs around 90 pounds. And that is one of the Achilles heels to this bike because it is a very smooth cruiser and it will go on the road, no problem. And it's the best street bike I've ridden as an e-bike. It's one of the best street bikes. It is perfect for being on the street, the pavement, in traffic, all of that. It's pretty heavy. I did find the off-road performance was it's not the best for that. It can handle a lot of things. It can handle a certain single track in different situations, but because of the size of this bike and the weight of this bike, even with the rear shock, I don't think it's the best off-road. But on-road, it is one of the best, and it handles sandy conditions, gravel conditions. You can put a ton of luggage in the back. Now, I know this bike is pricey at $2,400. That is a lot of money, but I did a lot of research online, and I actually didn't see a lot of bikes that had all these features for that price. They're all kind of around there, but this is actually a pretty decent value, and there are coupon codes. Magicycle did send me one for you guys, and I'll put it in the description if you want it. If you're interested in this bike, you use the code. It'll save you some money. If you want, if not, no problem. You can probably find other codes online. I don't care. I'm not trying to make money off of this video. I'm just trying to show you guys this e-bike. And this e-bike is really cool because the good thing about e-bikes is that you don't need a license or a helmet or anything to ride one. I mean, you should wear a helmet, of course. And in fact, they do have a safety thing right here. Please wear a helmet. And you absolutely should. But it's not against the law if you want to ride this around with no helmet. And this bike would be an amazing beach cruiser. I really think that is what they were intending, a beach cruiser, commuter bike. Take this thing to work with you. Just don't leave it out though, because this thing will get stolen, and you do not want it to get stolen, because I promise you, thieves will see this and they'll want it. It is a very nice bike. The build quality is actually really good. Look at these welds. The paint feels very nice. The leather feels very soft. It feels sturdy. It definitely feels sturdy. And a path like this type of off-roading, this bike, absolutely zero problems. I'm talking about heavy rocks, really big ditches, things like that. This bike's not the best for those situations, but it's pretty dang good for anything like this. Anything you see around here, it will handle just fine. I wouldn't take it through basically like big rocks though, or really tight turns, because it's just a little bit heavy to deal with that. But the good thing is, look at how low that seat height is. Even somebody as short as me, at 5'8", I can flat foot this thing, zero problems. It is very manageable, even with the heavy weight. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're interested in the bike, I will leave a link in the description below. So anyway, hope you guys have a good one. Take care, and bye-bye.